Hey there, and welcome to the latest episode of the Mind Body Health Podcast with myself, Dave Sheahan, high performance consultant and dedicated now for over 25 years, hard to believe, over 25 years now, to educating, motivating, and I do truly hope inspiring people just like you to live your best life, to evolve into the best version of you, and to turn your dreams into reality. Because the exciting thing about life is, and the exciting thing about every morning your eyes open, you can hear your blood is pumping through your heart. Your lungs are processing oxygen. Every single morning you wake up, you have another precious opportunity to live, to create the life you want, and to become the best version of yourself. So that's what this podcast aims to do each and every episode. And if you're a new follower or you're a new person to come listen to this particular episode, I hope you do enjoy it. Hope it makes a positive impact because, I've lived the last 26, 27 years of my life completely, totally focused on what I feel is my purpose. And my purpose and reason I'm even here is to make a positive impact on others. So I do hope that this podcast will do that for you. If you're a regular listener, hope you enjoy this episode too. And thank you for being a regular listener. And look, as I said, I'm dedicated to helping you guys to become the best that you can be. So what I'm going to speak about on this particular podcast, I want to speak to you about happiness. I'm going to speak to you about whether happiness is even possible. What is happiness even? And can everyone be happy? Most important question for me to ask you firstly is, are you happy? Right now, would you consider that you are happy? Are you happy within yourself? Are you happy with your life? Are you happy with your lot? Now, that doesn't mean you can't strive for more, because this is a big misperception out there, if that's the right word, that people mistake that, if you're constantly striving for more, you're constantly trying to achieve more or have more or do more, that means you can't be happy. No, that's not the case at all. For a lot of people, of course, that might be part of why they're striving for more and pushing on. But, some of the happiest people in the world are still always challenging themselves, working on new projects, trying to make an impact, immersing themselves in new skill development and challenging themselves to do all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't mean you can't have the two together. Of course you can. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, they are striving and pushing and driving on because they're trying to find happiness. And a lot of time for many people, that isn't going to bring them to happiness. And it's a sad reality about life. So, like I said to you, what is happiness? Are you happy was the first thing I asked you. So that's an important question for you to really answer, and do that right now and reflect if you need to, or you might know immediately. But are you happy right now in this moment? Okay. Are you happy right now in this moment? And if you're not happy at this particular time in your life, then change needs to happen, because otherwise happiness cannot happen, will not happen. So it's important for you to make the changes you need, okay? Both in yourself, both in things that, influence your life, things that you need to go do, all that kind of stuff. Feeling the fear, do it anyway, which we'll speak about. Now, we need to touch on what is happiness, which was another question I asked, like, what is happiness? Happiness basically is a personal perception. And that's an important differentiation to what maybe you've always thought. Because when people are asked what happiness is, typically they'll always talk about money, jobs, experiences in life, what they'll have, that type of thing. If you start to think a bit deeper, most of the time they will start thinking more things like family and stuff. But immediately we think of stuff, money, power, prestige, status, all that kind of stuff. Okay. This is society's conditioning. This is something you really have to break free from if you want to truly be happy. Because if you don't break free from societal's conditioning of what happiness is, you will never be happy. I can guarantee you that you will never, ever experience happiness, because society puts out this image, perception of what happiness is, and it's one that's unattainable, because it's one that's all built around people never feeling that they're enough or that they have enough. People all the time feeling that they need to keep up with everyone else, keeping up with the Joneses. They need to have the newest this, the newest that. If some Mary Jo has something down the road, then Christ, I need to have it as well. And unfortunately, it's infecting into our children as well, because it's infecting the adults, who are in turn imposing that on top of their kids. And generations are growing up now where they totally feel inadequate within themselves, which is a major reason why they'll never be happy. But another major reason is that they feel they have to constantly compare themselves to other people. Plus, we live in a world where we literally have like demigods everywhere, whether they be in sports, even politics, in religion, celebrities, fame, movies, everything, where these people are put in a pedestal and people literally live their lives passionately following them. People live their lives through them. Their happiness is derived from those people and what those people are doing and their successes, which is insane because that's their life. So it's no different than a political person and they're trying to get into president or something. And there's certain groups of people who genuinely their lives are based on them. And if they get in, they think, well, I feel happy. If they don't get in, they're devastated. When the reality is that's that person's life. It's not your life. There's nothing wrong with being passionate about things and following things and a bit fanatical to some degree, a little tribal to some degree once it's not too much. So like I myself, I'm big into football, like soccer, depending on where you listen to this. And I would have had phases of my life where I was quite tribal about it, which is not good for you. And, you know, it was latching to something, getting happiness from it, but I wasn't actually happy with it myself. And that's what we do when we latch to things. That's what tribalism usually is a big reflection of. When people are very extreme on anything, that's where they're putting their happiness into. They're not actually truly happy within themselves. And I can identify times in my life where football in particular and music, even things like that, I was deriving happiness from them as opposed to being happy within myself. So, you know, we have to get happiness within ourselves. And we have our own perception of what happiness means. So there's, you know, let me touch on 2 points. There's happiness within. So that's where I speak so much about self-love. You know, you will never, ever experience true happiness and never, ever truly be happy unless you've got self-love. So you have to truly love yourself for who you are. So, you know, that involves embracing who you truly are. So the type of person you are. Now, who are you? Like for me, who is Dave Sheahan? Who is he? What does he stand for? What does he believe? What are his values? What does he feel he's here for? What are his likes? What are his dislikes? What does he like to wear? What's he not like to wear? How does his thought process work? Is he using his own individual thoughts or being conditioned by other people's thoughts? Is he standing for his own integrity or not? Is he being honest with himself and honest with other people? Does he do and live the life that he wants to live? You know, that's a huge part of it. You know, does Dave Sheahan like the body he's in, for instance? Does he feel energized and empowered by the level of health he has, his brain function, all that kind of stuff? So your own personal happiness is huge. Also, let me tie into that as well. Does Dave Sheahan not give a shit about what anyone else thinks of him? That is probably the most important thing. If you want to know how to become happy, honestly, learn how to not give a shit about what other people think of you. Because once you care what other people think of you, part of your happiness can be gone. If you really care about what other people think of you, it's going to be very far away from what happiness actually means to you. Because then you're going to base your decisions and your actions, your behaviors, and your thought process around what those people think that you should do, and you're not being true to yourself. So you're going to live in a way and behave in a way that's not really you. It's more what they want you to be. And you're doing it because you care what they think, which is absolutely crazy because it's your life. Live the way you want to live. Okay, live the way you want to live. So very important is happiness is only ever going to be any way possible if you have self-love and you truly love yourself for who you are, truly embrace yourself for who you are, and also be committed every day to evolving into the best version of you. None of us are perfect. I'm far from perfect, but I am committed every single day since I was 17, and that's 27 years ago now. Hard to believe. But every single day to becoming and evolving into the best version of me. Where can I be better? How can I be better? How can I learn a lesson from that experience? How can I make sure that I react better the next time that I have that same experience? How can I improve my health? How can I feed my brain better so it works better? How can I feed my body so it works more effectively? All my systems work better. My body looks better. My body's leaner, has more tone. I have more strength. I have more fitness. All these kind of things. Again, all our decisions are leading to something. Keep remembering that. So make sure you're happy within, because that's the most important thing. Now, also tied into happiness, besides just you, is your own perception of what happiness is. What do you truly believe happiness is for you? What is happiness for you? Because again, you need to cut the ties to what society is telling you what happiness is, or what other people is, or giving a shit about what other people thinks is. What do you truly see as happiness for you? And then work towards that. But you have to be clear on what that is. Okay. It's like for me, happiness, huge amount of happiness is derived from my son. So I get a huge amount of happiness from him. Unfortunately, he's getting older now and he's going to leave the nest soon, and that's going to be devastating. But I'll still get happiness from, again, the present that we will have, the future we'll have, the past memories, all that kind of stuff. Also I get a lot of happiness from, again, enjoying time, enjoying life, sharing my life with someone who means something. That's something that's massive for me. Get a lot of happiness from that. I get happiness from making a positive impact on other people. I get happiness from just good weather, good sunshine. That's why, like when I lived in Lanzarote for 6 years, that kind of lifestyle was something that gave me a lot of happiness. It made so much insignificant to me. It was something I was never a very materialistic type person, but when I lived in Lanzarote, I really lost any kind of ties of materialism I actually had, because for me, such simple things as looking at the ocean, seeing a blue sky, feeling the sun on my skin, being able to go outside whenever the hell I want, go for a swim whenever I want, something like that made me happy. Just that basic lifestyle, and all of us free as well. Remember that thing, the best things in life are often free. We don't have to spend loads of money to have happiness. See, people try to buy happiness as well. And, often they're not buying the right things, So like all the things I just said, do I have to pay for any of them? My son, person I truly care about, sunshine, lifestyle, helping other people? No. So, that's my situation. Now, you might be different. And so we have to have our own perception of what happiness is. For someone else, it might be truly and honestly that they have a couple of million in the bank. That might be what they want. It depends. There's other people who dedicate their entire lives to the service of others, working in places in Africa and India and other countries where they totally 100% give up themselves in the service of others, and they couldn't be happier. Same as we've got people who live in tribes in the middle of jungles. To the outside world, looks like they've absolutely nothing. To them, they couldn't have any more. They're so happy in their lives. Now, they're oblivious to a lot of modern developed societies stuff, but aren't they better off in many ways? Because they are actually truly happy. All that matters is you being happy in your own perception of happiness. Don't be impacted in what you're striving for by other people, and especially not by society. That's something that's so important. And it's the most important message I can give you, is to not be conditioned by societal conditioning of the bar it sets for happiness, and to not give a shit about what other people think. They're the two biggest takeaways from this actual podcast, to be honest, because when you do those two things, your level of happiness will increase dramatically. Your ability to create happiness in your life will increase dramatically. Because like the bar that society creates of what happiness is, it's always built around status, prestige, money, power, stuff. It's all built around that. And we need to break from that, because that isn't what happiness is. Like even when you want to get something like a new car even, right, these kind of things, the thought of getting it, the journey towards it is very rewarding. It's enjoyable. It's fun. It's exciting. It's happy to some degree. But when you have it, you have it. And that's the end. It's like temporary. It's on to what's next. Could be a car that costs you 300-400 grand. It's the same thing. It's temporary. That's why when people are striving for stuff, it's so false in terms of, it's like a myth. Like if people think that's going to make them happy, it's not. Like people thinking when they win the lotto, or if they win the lotto, they're going to be happy. No, because they don't understand how to manage the money. So they're probably going to, waste it. They're not going to be smart with it. They're going to have a lot of people scabbing off them and sponging off them and torturing them and stuff. They're going to have a lot of false friends around them. They most likely will be less happy with that lotto win than they would be with it. Now, again, depends on the person. So it's important for you to get very clear on what happiness means to you. That's the most important first step. Identify right now, am I happy? If I'm not happy, what is happiness for me? And then after that, what is happiness for me? What are the steps I need to take to get there? And then go and take those steps. And it's about, again, consistent action, consistent, positive, progressive action towards whatever you want in life. Because the only thing that should matter to you every single day is happiness. And am I moving closer to happiness? Am I moving closer to my own personal perception of happiness? And that's what your days are about. Like when you reflect back on your day and you look at what you did and what you used your time for, you should be able to look at most of it, if not all of it, and think, yeah, that's all moving me towards what I want in life, the life I want to create. Like remember, you were actually the designer and the creator of your life. Every single thought, decision, action, behavior you do in life is leading to something. And you should be using it to lead to stuff that's going to improve your life and lead you to what you want in terms of what happiness is. Does that make sense? So when people are living lives where they hate their job, they're in relationships that don't fulfill them, and relationships that they hate even to some degrees, they're doing things every single day that are just because of other people, they're not happy. They're in poor health, overweight, chronically fatigued, no energy. That's not living. That's not happiness. It's impossible to be, So we need to start really looking internally and then tune into who we really are. That's what matters. Who are you? Who are you? And what will serve your needs? What will serve your needs and what will make you feel better? That's all that really matters. That's all that matters. You need to get focused on that. You need to start working towards that all the time. Now, can everyone be happy? Can everyone experience happiness? 100%. Because again, it comes down to your own personal perception of happiness. But if you were to ask this question to a group of people, they'd say, oh, no, that's not possible. So what about the people who live in slums in Calcutta or live in poor villages in Africa or, live in parts of Eastern Europe and places like that that are, not in a good place? You're forgetting that there's people in these places who on the outside, from the outside may look like they've got nothing. It's like, oh, poor them. But for them, some of them, they couldn't be happier because they've got simple pleasures. And this is the problem with the modern world. We've moved so far away from gaining joy out of simple things, even just simple things like hearing the birds sing, having a beautiful day, be able to go out in it. A child's laugh, like the love of an animal, especially dogs. We can gain joy from so many things, but we've lost that. Like even sadly, I see so many parents not enjoying their children, and the years pass by because they're too busy. Their lives are too busy, and all of a sudden the child goes from being a baby to 2 to 5 to 10 to 12 to 18. They're gone, and it's like, whoa. And I'm sure for a lot of parents out there, it's a source of a lot of sadness because again, if people have kids for the right reason, they have kids to enjoy them. And they're not getting to enjoy them because they're not prioritizing them. They're striving for a level of happiness that isn't actually what would make them happy. Spending more time with their kids would make them happy, but they're too busy in their own heads to do that. Does that make sense? Now, of course, it's not for everybody. Some people have kids, they love their kids, but their highest value is power, achievement, money, material, all that kind of stuff. And that's what, look, if that's your idea of happiness, that's your idea of happiness. We can't judge each other on it. What's important is that we all strive for what makes us personally happy. That's all that matters in life. So make sure, again, you're striving towards your own personal version of happiness. So, ask yourself the question, decide what happiness means for you and looks like for you. And it's a case of what are the steps to get there? What about in your relationships? What kind of relationship would make you happy? What are the ingredients? Who is the person? Who's the other person that's making you happy or bringing happiness to you? Because remember, being happy is internal, but you can gain happiness from other things that are external. And a person who you truly care for and they care for you, like that's what life's about, really. Sharing your life with someone is what life's about in a big way. That's a huge source of happiness. So, what do they look like? What are they like? What are their personality likes? What are their traits? What are their behaviors? All this kind of stuff. Be very clear on what it is. What are key ingredients for a relationship? What are things you tolerate? What are things you won't tolerate? You know this from your own personal experience over the years, things that you're not willing to tolerate or don't want anymore, and things that you would like to see in a relationship. So whether you're in a relationship right now or you're not, again, you work towards this. Your health, what's your health like right now? How can you improve your health? How can you get more optimum health? In what ways can you improve it? How can you evolve into the best version of yourself from a health perspective? How about your body? How do you feel about your body? Because again, it's another thing that if you're not in a body shape that you're happy with, you're not content with, you can't again be happy. This is why again it comes back to yourself. How you feel about yourself is everything. How you feel about yourself will determine whether you're happy or not, whether you can possibly be happy or not. So it's so important for you to focus again on, being in the shape you want, whatever that may be. Again, it's personal perception again. Forget societal conditioning, forget about magazine covers. It's what do you want to look like? What are you comfortable looking like? What body are you comfortable being in? What level of health have you got right now? How can you make it better? What about, your job, your career, your business, your purpose, your mission? How is that for you right now? How much happiness are you gaining from that? What changes would you need to make yourself feel happy, truly happy in it? What would you like to be doing that would bring you the most happiness? Because again, we have the opportunity to wake up every day and do what makes us happy. Do what makes you happy. That's what you should be doing. The amount of people who go to work every day to the job that they absolutely hate, and they are every day of the week focused on getting to Friday. That's a terrible way to live. That's not a happy way to live. It's impossible to be happy in that kind of lifestyle. Like you're literally wishing your life away, wishing away wonderful opportunities to live life fully, because we don't know how much time we're going to get. And, we should be maximizing every single second. Yet there's vast majority of people are doing the complete opposite. They're literally wasting it away. And it's a very sad thing to see, because, it shouldn't be the case. People should be doing everything they can to live as fully as they possibly can. So, in your job, career, purpose, mission, all that kind of way, your business, what is happiness for you within that? Financially, what's happiness for you? Now, this will tie down more to financial freedom. Everyone should be looking at financial freedom, and that's different for everybody. If someone wants to have a yacht and a couple of cars and a couple of Ferraris and 4 or 5 houses around the world and a colossal business with loads of employees, you need to be taking in like a couple of million, a lot of million, But if you're someone you're happy with a basic life, not massive into buying new clothes, new stuff, material stuff, you're happy with just a basic car, live in a particular place, going on cheaper holidays, you gain joy out of life and living as opposed to stuff. You may be happy out if you have a couple of grand in the bank and you're making 30 grand a year. That might be happiness for you. We all have to work again off our own personal perception, because it will be completely different for everybody. Does that make sense? It's such an important point, because again, people are caught up in the hamster wheel of the modern life. They're caught up in the hamster wheel of modern society, caught up in the hamster wheel of trying to achieve this bar that's unattainable for most, that's set by society, caught up in giving a shit about what other people think of them and what they're doing. A lot of times they're doing things for other people as opposed to what they really want, which is absolutely crazy, because again, it's your life, not theirs. So you should always be focused on what will make your life better, what will bring happiness into your life, and then do whatever it takes to get to that, because that's all that actually matters. Okay? So happiness is there for everyone. Happiness is there for you. Just depends if you go out there and make it happen or not. And like I said, it starts with you personally, you internally. What will make you happy? How do you feel about yourself? How is your self-confidence? How is your self-esteem? Have you a positive self-image? And if no is the answer to any of them, work on them first. In order to be happy, they're the most important aspects. And this is why, like on the Mind Body Health podcast, as well as everything I've put out there for 25 plus years, is all built around trying my best to get people to realize that you need to prioritize your mind, body, and health. That area of your life is the most important part of your life, because when you've got a positive mental attitude, when you're in good shape, whatever that is for you, when you're lean and healthy, you make better decisions in all aspects of your life. You move towards happiness in all aspects of your life. You move faster towards everything in all areas of your life, because when you're happy within yourself, it's like a natural drug. You feel on a high. You just push on. You don't see obstacles and challenges. You just get through them. You always see the positive outcome. So it's a completely different shift in your mindset, even when you're in better condition mentally and physically. So happiness is there for you. Just, are you going to take it? Are you going to take the opportunity? Like I said, every morning you wake up, your heart's still beating, your lungs are still processing oxygen, your eyes are still working, your ears are still working, you can still walk. There's loads you can do. Go out there and make it happen. It's totally up to you. Happiness is there for you. Just depends where you take it or not. Or are you going to sit in your arse and just make excuses and play the blame game and bitch and moan and complain, like so many people do? The choice is yours. This is the great thing about it. It is a choice. Happiness is a choice. You can move towards it, or you can stay where you are, unhappy, or you can even make yourself less happy. The choice is yours. What are you going to choose? I choose happiness over everything. That's my main driver for absolutely everything I do. It's my main driver every single morning I wake up. Create happiness, both for myself and for those who matter most to me in my life. And then outside that, then for people at large, by hopefully making a positive impact in the work that I do. So what, again, is your purpose, and what will make you happy? You need to keep asking yourself this question. You need to keep making sure that you move towards it. All right, so that's it for this episode of the Mind Body Health podcast. I hope you gain value from it. Do let me know. Shoot me a message. Leave a rating review on any of the podcasting platforms that allow that. Please share this message out there. Happiness is something we need to get out there more and more. Positive messages is something we need to get out there more and more. We're at a time where the world is consumed with negativity. It's practically poisoned with it, and we need to start counteracting it. And podcasts like this and you helping me to share it out there will have a positive impact, I've no doubt. So hope you enjoy, share it out there, keep contacting me with any questions or any podcast suggestions or topics, or as well as guests you'd like to see on. And have a good one. Keep focused, keep remembering, it's up to you to evolve into the best version of yourself and to create the life that you desire, because it's on you. Take personal responsibility for it. Live your life fully, live in constant fear of regret.